Hello, welcome to Wolvespirit Productions. As over-the-road truck drivers, one of the things that we enjoy doing when we have some downtime is watching movies. We have over 1,100 movies in our collection, and they are all 1,100 plus movies are on disc, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K disc. We prefer the physical media to the digital for a few reasons. We like having the physical disc in hand. We have limited data and bandwidth out on the road, so that's why we prefer having discs. We don't carry all of our discs with us anymore. We just carry the few that we're wanting to watch over the next few weeks at a time. Of those, we have about 112 that we would consider as horror and or Halloween themed genre movies. This video and a few more that I'll be putting out soon will be showcasing the horror and Halloween movies that we own. We'll be talking a little bit about each movie, at least the ones that we have seen. We do own a few that we haven't seen yet. This video in particular is going to be the horror movies that don't have sequels. They might be a reboot to the original. There's 12 movies in this video that we'll be talking about. And as the video started showing right before I came on the screen, viewer discretion is advised because at least one movie in this video, and actually I think almost all of them in this video in particular, are rated R. And we do have scenes and pictures from each of the movies showing in this video, so be fair warned. And watch the video to the end and leave us a comment. Let us know if you've seen any of these movies, if you saw your favorite in this video, if you plan on seeing any of the movies that we're discussing today. Our first movie we'll be looking at is The American Werewolf in London. It has a 97-minute runtime, came out in 1981, and it's rated R.
Okay, the basic premise of the movie is two American college students are in Britain on a walking tour, and one of them gets bitten by a werewolf that none of the locals will admit that the werewolf actually exists. It stars David Naughton and Griffin Dunne as the two teenagers. David Naughton is the one who gets bit, and basically a lot of I wouldn't really call it hijinks ensues, but there is comedy elements to the movie. So it's a horror comedy movie directed by John Landis, who has directed several other hits like The Blues Brothers, directed Twilight Zone the movie, several music videos, Michael Jackson among some of the others. Done some Paul McCartney stuff, movie Spies Like Us, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Trading Places. He's more known for the comedy type stuff, but he also has delved into the horror stuff. Done a lot of comedy directing, so with that background, directing a horror movie. Comedy director directing a horror movie. What do you expect to get out of that? A horror comedy. It is a pretty good movie.
I think I've seen it, I just don't really remember it. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the last time I saw it too. And I think I actually saw it when it was on TV, so a lot of the R-rated elements got cut out. Mostly the comedy elements was what survived, and that's why I remember it being kind of a comedy more than a horror movie. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It's worth checking out if you're looking for something new.
Our next movie is Carrie, the original version. It has a 98-minute runtime, came out in 1976, and it is rated R.
Okay, this is one of the classics that don't need a whole lot said. Carrie. Stephen King. Need we say much more? Stars Sissy Spacek. Piper Laurie is the mother. As I said, from the Stephen King novel, directed by Brian De Palma. This was the role that got Sissy Spacek noticed in Hollywood. It was like her 5th or 6th role, and most everything she had done prior to this was television stuff. This got her noticed in Hollywood.
10th role.
Okay. 4 years later, she got the role that made her career, playing Loretta Lynn in Coal Miner's Daughter. I believe she won the Academy Award for that one. But this was a very good movie. Great adaptation of a Stephen King novel. Brian De Palma is an excellent director. He knows how to create tension. And unlike what a lot of people think of Stephen King, he's really a psychological thriller type writer, even though he does write a lot of gore and everything in his stuff. Underneath what he writes is psychological terror, scaring the mind is what he does, and he does that so well. De Palma is a good director for that style of writing. That's why this was such an excellent translation from the novel into a movie.
We also have the reboot Carrie, the one that came out in 2013. This is a 100-minute runtime, and it is rated R.
This one I have not seen. Don't know a whole lot about it. It stars Chloe Grace Moritz.
I think it's Chloe.
Okay. And Julianne Moore has the mother. It's basically a retelling of the very same story from Stephen King, of course. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I've heard a few bad things about it. I have no idea because I have not seen this yet. I do like a lot of the stuff Julianne Moore has done. I've seen a few other things that Chloe has been in.
The Fifth Wave. We've seen that.
Yeah, Fifth Wave. Yeah.
The Equalizer.
I like the lead actress in that one. Which one?
The Equalizer. We have that. I don't remember seeing it.
Hugo.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. And I liked the young girl in Hugo. The granddaughter of the movie maker. Yeah, there's a couple things we've seen her in. And I really like her as an actress.
She is a newer actress. She started in 2004.
Yeah. I don't think she's really had her big break yet. She's got a lot of buzz about her in Hollywood, but I don't think she's had her starring role yet. She just has not found that role yet.
Our next movie is Christine, one of my favorites as far as this list goes. It has a 110-minute runtime, came out in 1983, and it is rated R.
Christine is another Stephen King. We're seeing a theme here, I think. Basically, it's about a teenage boy. Him and his best friend have been working through the summer, basically on the road crew. And one evening on the way home from work, they drive by a lot that's got this dilapidated car sitting out front. And Arnie goes, "Oh, stop, stop, stop." And his buddy Dennis goes, "What the heck you want me to stop for?" And he says, I found it. And he decides he wants to buy this car. He goes to the owner of the car. And basically the owner tries to kind of talk him out of it initially. And then when he realizes that Arnie really wants the car, he says, "Okay, I'll sell you the car, but this is what you're getting into." Doesn't tell him all the details, but he tells him that the car is special. And his brother is the one who actually owned it until his brother committed suicide, supposedly. He buys the car, starts restoring it. If you know Stephen King, you kind of know what ensues. If you're a bully, never pick on the nerd, because you never know what could happen. It's a good movie. I highly recommend this one. This is a very entertaining movie. I've seen it multiple times, multiple formats, director's cut, TV cuts.
We actually listened to the audiobook even.
Yeah. I love this story. It's a great story.
I don't really get into the horror movies, but this was a good one. Our next movie is Color Out of Space. It has a 111-minute runtime. It just came out in 2019, 3 years ago, and according to IMDb, it's unrated.
We saw this one probably within the last year.
I think it was last year we saw it.
Anyway, it's based on a novella by H.P. Lovecraft. Lovecraft writes some weird stuff.
Yeah.
He is definitely speculative horror fiction. Starred Nicolas Cage. I think he was kind of underused in the role. The two kids were played by Melanie Arthur and Julian Hillard.
Madeline.
Anyway, it's hard to describe the movie without really giving anything away. The asteroid falls to Earth, and basically from there, everything just goes downhill for Nicolas Cage and his family, the Gardeners. Hard to describe. It's been a while since I've seen it. A little confusing.
Yeah, a little.
But stick with it because I think it's worth it. It makes you think.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely one of these what if type movies.
Definitely very weird.
Well, Lovecraft is weird.
Yeah. Our next movie is the original Firestarter. It has a 114-minute runtime, came out in 1984, and is rated R.
This movie is a Stephen King movie. All-star cast. Drew Barrymore, George C. Scott, Heather Locklear, Martin Sheen, Louise Fletcher, who just recently passed away too. Art Carney, whole bunch of big names starred in this movie. This was, I think, Drew Barrymore's second or third role. I can't remember if this was immediately after E.T. or she had one other thing in between. E.T. came out, I think, in 82 or 83.
E.T. was her fourth, Firestarter fifth.
Yeah. E.T. came out in 82, and then after E.T. she did this. So this was her follow-up to E.T. And if you think about the little girl in E.T. and think about the girl in Firestarter, they are two totally different people. She definitely showed some acting chops, I think, in this one. Yeah. Amazingly good little actress at a very young age. The list of her co-stars, and she held her own with that level of acting quality. Very convincing role. Good movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. Probably should go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too, and I remember watching this as a kid.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Our next movie is the reboot Firestarter that just came out. It has a 94-minute runtime, just came out this year, and is rated R.
A Stephen King novel. Don't really know much about this one beyond, basically it's a reboot of the original movie.
We haven't seen it yet.
Tries to understand how she mysteriously gained the power to set things on fire with her mind. That's definitely a change from the original story, because in the original story, the parents knew where she got the power. They just hid it from her. The way this reads, I don't think the parents knew. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah, I guess we need to see it soon.
Yeah, this one doesn't have near the all-star cast that the other one did. It's got a couple of fairly big names in it. Zac Efron, he's one of the stars on the rise. Kurtwood Smith, 70s Show. He's been in several Star Trek TV episodes, a couple of movies. Sydney Lemon. Wonder if she's related to Jack Lemmon.
Grandparent Jack Lemmon.
Okay. Wow. Granddaughter of Jack Lemmon. So she does have a pedigree. I don't really know anything about any of the actors in this movie beyond basically Kurtwood Smith. Don't know anything about the director. Not a whole lot I can tell you about this movie, to be honest.
Next on our list is Graveyard Shift. It has an 86-minute runtime, came out in 1990, and is rated R.
This is a Stephen King based on movie. I think I've only seen this, and I don't think I've seen the whole thing on TV. So there's not a whole lot I know about this one. Very old textile mill with serious rat infestation. Deadly accident starts happening, but the corrupt foreman puts his workers in danger until they discover a horrifying secret deep in the basement. What I remember of it, it's pretty interesting. The most interesting part, I think, is, from what I remember, the guy who plays the exterminator, Brad Dourif. This is, I think, one of his underrated roles. He's best known as the actor who brought Chucky to life. If anybody's seen any of the Child's Play movie, you know his voice. If you've seen the first one, He appears for a few minutes right at the beginning of the first Chucky movie. But beyond that, he's the doll. He's the voice of the doll, and that's it. He loves playing these kind of off-the-wall, left-field, I wouldn't necessarily say homicidal killers, but...
Well, that's what Chucky is.
That's what Chucky is. And he's played in a couple episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Believe it or not, he played somebody who had a problem with killing people.
Do what you know?
He was also in Lord of the Rings as one of the manipulators behind the scenes, I think.
Wormtongue.
Wormtongue, the king's advisor.
Exorcist 3, the Gemini killer.
A serial killer. He's also done a lot of video game voices. If you like Stephen King, this is definitely one I would recommend.
This next movie is one of my favorites, of course, Maximum Overdrive. It's a 98-minute runtime. Came out in 1986 and is rated R.
Most everybody recognizes the name Maximum Overdrive. This is a movie by Stephen King, literally. He directed it, he wrote the screenplay, and it's based on a short story that he wrote. Trucks was the short story that it's based upon. Okay. When asked why he hasn't directed a movie since Maximum Overdrive, just watch Maximum Overdrive. Several of the stories on this movie was he was coked out of his head during the making of this movie, which in a way makes sense. He has had his substance abuse problems. I think that's honestly part of what the charm of this movie is because it is so disconnected as far as the movie itself goes. It just goes left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. But it's a very fun movie to watch. Good movie. Very entertaining movie. For a horror movie, it has loads of laughs. Mainly because some of the stuff that's in the movie is just so ridiculously out there stuff out of extreme left field. I wouldn't say an all-star cast, but has some definitely known names. Emilio Estevez, Pat Hingle, Yeardley Smith. If anybody knows anything about the Simpsons, they'll recognize that name. The guy that gets fried by the video game machine. And Carlo Esposito. Yep. That's one of his very first roles. He's played in a lot of thriller type stuff. I think a couple of the things he's recently been in is Better Call Saul. And
Which we have not seen.
Mm-hmm, it's a series.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't seen it.
191 credits. Jigsaw. It's a reboot.
Mandalorian. And we still haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm. He's in the Harley Quinn animated series. Lex Luthor. Okay.
Once Upon a Time, 14 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Mirror. Okay, now I know who it is.
Uh-huh.
Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the guy who was trying to catch them.
Our next movie is Silver Bullet. It has a 95-minute runtime, came out in 1985, and is rated R.
This is another movie based on Stephen King. It's about a small town that some killings. I think basically people getting ripped to pieces start happening in the small town. And there's a paraplegic boy who is convinced that the killings are being caused by a werewolf, which of course nobody believes him. The boy who cried wolf.
Literally.
There is several big names kind of in this movie. Gary Busey, Corey Haim, Terry O'Quinn. They're just the biggest ones that I recognize off the top of my head. Of course, Gary Busey has had a very varied career. Corey Haim is basically the partner with Corey Feldman, the two Coreys. They played in a bunch of stuff together, several horror-type movies. And Terry O'Quinn, he's been in several thriller-type stuff. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head that he's been in recently was a TV show on ABC a few years ago called 666 Park Avenue. He's been in a bunch of other stuff.
Falling Skies. 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And 666 Park Avenue was 2012-2013.
Mm-hmm.
Only 13 episodes.
Yeah, I think he was in all 13 episodes.
Yeah. Resident Alien.
Yeah, 6 episodes of the current sci-fi series Resident Alien. This is one I have not seen.
Neither have I.
So, not a lot I can tell you about this one. Stephen King, if you like anything he's done at all, you will probably like this. Because, anything that's done based on something he's done has a certain style to it, period. The next movie on our list is Strays. It has a runtime of 83 minutes. Came out in 1991. Made-for-TV movie. Apparently also rated R. That's kind of weird. I guess there was a theatrical version of this movie also.
I don't know what channel it came out on, but there were some scenes in this movie that I should not have been watching back then.
Okay.
Of course, I was 10 years old when it came out. I don't remember if I saw it right as it came out, but I remember seeing it as a kid sometime in the 90s. And this movie kind of scared me for a while with cats, especially stray cats. A family of 3, mom, dad, and little girl, move out to a house in the country. I think it was mom's sister that sold them the house. Don't think she disclosed everything she's supposed to disclose in the sale of the house. And things kind of go downhill kind of quickly. There's a couple stray cats living on the property that they find out pretty quickly. But there's a lot more than just a couple. And these cats have kind of taken over the house after the previous owner, an older lady, I think she passed away or something. I don't think these cats want any other humans living there. They kind of take it into their own paws, so to speak.
The last movie on our list today is Troll. It's 82-minute runtime. Came out in 1986, and it's rated PG-13. I haven't seen this movie. I know nothing at all about it. April knows a few things about it, so she's going to discuss this one.
It has been a really long time since I've seen it, like 25, 30 years when I was a kid. But it was one of my favorite movies back then, so I had to find it on DVD recently and get it back into our collection. Basically, from IMDb, the plot says, a wicked troll king in search of a mystical ring that will transform him to human form invades a San Francisco apartment complex where a powerful witch lives. A girl and her parents just moved into this apartment complex, and basically right as soon as they move in, she goes down into the basement or something from what I remember. And there's this ball that all this time, this ball, it's like spiral, different colors, has been stuck in my head about this movie. And there's a troll down there. It's kind of a weird movie, mid-80s and horrible special effects, but it's still a really good movie. John Carl Buechler, director and writer, with Ed and Naha, I guess. There's a lot of big names that we both recognize. Jenny Beck is the little girl in this movie, and she's the star child in the V, is it series or
miniseries?
Miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sonny Bono is in this movie.
Sonny and Cher.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, if you've ever watched Seinfeld, she's famous for that. This was her very first role. Anne and June Lockhart. Michael Moriarty is in this, and he was from Law and Order.
Law and Order.
David recognized his face in the little trailer video.
And June Lockhart, best known as the mom from Lost in Space. I think Anne Lockhart's her daughter. And basically they're playing younger version and older version of the same character, which I think might be the witch. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be. I don't remember, and I didn't know back then who either one of them was.
There's your ball.
Yeah, there's the ball in the trailer. It plays on IMDb. Yeah, she's in the laundry room. I guess that's the basement.
Laundry room in the basement,
yeah.
Yes.
this was kind of a scary movie to me back then when I was a kid, but you know, I need to watch this again soon. I really enjoyed it, and if you haven't seen it, you need to see if you can find it, you know, to stream or to find a DVD or something. And Sonny Bono gets stuck by the ring. Yeah, he gets trolled, David said. But yeah, this is a good movie, even for, you know, mid-80s bad special effects and all. Definitely need to see it. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Share the video out with your friends. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of this video. If you saw your favorite movie in this video. If you've seen any of these movies or plan to. Give us your reviews on these movies. What your favorites are. If we missed one that you think we should have included in this video. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you smash the subscribe and the bell icon so you'll get notifications when we upload new content. We're uploading videos just about every day, at least for this month. We're doing a lot of Halloween themed and horror themed stuff for October. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.